first time tuning in, go ahead and click that subscribe button. For all my return subscribers, thank you guys so much. Okay, so today's video is going to be about the pros and the cons of the knotless box braids. I have been having my braids in for almost 6 weeks now, and I just felt like since I hadn't had them in so long, if there are people out there that are natural like me that don't usually do like box braids for protective styles, I just thought it would be really cool to do like a pros and a cons video to kind of help y'all out to make a decision on if it's something that you would like to try in the future. Okay y'all, so let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. So we're going to start with the pros just so we can kind of ease into it. So the first one, and the one that I think is the most important one to me, is the no tension. So I'm not saying it's not going to be tight, although mine weren't tight, but I feel like the traditional box braids, there's a lot of pulling and a lot of tension on the root of your hair because of the technique that's used, and you have the knot at the base. When you get the knotless braids, you don't have that knot, and it's also like the feed-in method with the hair, so they kind of continue to add hair, you know, as they go, so you don't have to get it very tight in order to start it. And I think that's really important. I don't think that I would have gotten traditional box braids, and maybe that's why I hadn't had box braids in so long, because for one, I'm tender-headed, and for two, I already had a lot of shedding on my edges after I had cam, so I just felt like I wasn't really interested in anything that I thought was going to be tight around my edges. So if you go the knotless braid route, then you don't have to worry about the tension. But you also make sure you want to do your research and read reviews of people that get braids, because everybody doesn't braid the same. But like I said, the place where I got my braids done, I felt like she did a fantastic job. It wasn't tight at all. So the no tension method that's used for knotless braids will be my #1 pro to getting them. So number 2 is there are so many styles that you can do with knotless braids. Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. First, let me just go ahead and do a shameless plug and say that I filmed a video on 10 different styles that you can do with knotless braids, so I'll link it in the description box, but I'll also link it somewhere in the video so you guys can click on it. But anyways, there are a lot of different styles you can do. With box braids, again, you're using more hair, so it's a little bit heavier, and you have the knot at the base. So you can do different styles, but I feel like, in my opinion, it's not as cute. Sometimes seeing the knots kind of take away from the style. But since the knotless braids, you know, look more natural, you can do like a whole bunch of different styles. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for something that you can switch out the look every other day, every week, then I would definitely go with the knotless braids. Okay, number 3. These braids are so light. I have heard people before say that the knotless braids were light, but I was like, girl, y'all lying. But no, yeah, I have mine, and mine are super duper long. I have the knee length braids, and my braids are still light. So if you get them shorter, then I feel like, hey, you probably won't even feel like you have anything in your hair. I do plan on getting knotless braids again. I'm not sure if it'll be this year or sometime next year, and I thought about probably getting them probably the same length as my natural hair, and opting not to get them dipped just in case, you know, like the hot water got on my real hair. But yeah, I probably would try them shorter just to see. But I love the length that I have, and I do like the fact that they are very lightweight. Again, when you get knotless braids, you're not using as much hair. My hair is all the way to my knee, and I think she used like 3 bags of hair, and that was it. So they are really light. Number 4, I would say, is that they last longer than box braids. Back when I used to get box braids, I think I probably would leave them in for like a month or something like that. But knotless braids, everybody is different. You know, some people leave their braids in for 3 months, 2 months. Some people only leave their braids in for a month. I feel like it's personal preference. However, I feel like no matter how long you want to have your hair in, the ones that are knotless are still better than the box braids. I've had my braids for 6 weeks now. I said I was going to take them down in 6 weeks, but it's been 6 weeks, and I still have them, and I don't think they look bad. You know, I think, for me, I think they still look good. Now, of course, like some of my hair, you can kind of start seeing a little frizzy, but as far as like the overall look of it, I feel like my hair still looks really well. I don't have like a lot of buildup in my scalp, so I feel like the knotless braid route, the braids will last a lot longer than the traditional box braids. Okay, last but not least for my pros for the knotless braids is, of course, it's convenient. I mean, that's like the most obvious reason. People get braids because it's convenient. People get knotless braids because they're convenient, they're light, they're so versatile. So yes, it's so convenient. Y'all don't understand how much easier my life has been not having to wake up and do anything with my hair. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I have a lot of hair, and it's a job to try to keep track of it and keep it in cute style. So I usually just opt to doing boring styles, like just keeping it twisted. But having these braids, I can wear them up in a bun. I can do half up, half down. I can just wear them down. I can do it in a braid. And again, I feel like I've taken care of mine really well, so they still look good. So for me, the convenience out of all of them probably is like the most important, besides the tension, because I feel like it was well worth the money. Like just waking up and boom, you can just go. If you want to get cute, you can put a little headband on. You still got your, you know, your length in the back and you're fine. You can put a headband on. You can put it in a bun at the top. It's just so many different things that you can do with it. So yeah, I would definitely say that the convenience of it and the low to no tension method are the top two pros for me for getting the knotless braids as opposed to the traditional box braids. Okay, so let's get into the cons. So, depending on who does your hair, again, I've heard people get knotless braids and it takes 10 hours, 12 hours. Now, don't get me wrong, the braids are really pretty, but 10 to 12 hours is a very long time for me. So I would say the knotless braids take a lot longer than the traditional box braids because of the method that they use, and you have to factor in the length. So for me, I already had a lot of hair. Again, she only used 3 bags of hair and it took her 6.5 hours, which in my opinion, I think is really good because mine are really, really long. I've seen people have knotless braids that are shorter than mine and it takes 12 hours or 10 hours. So I would say the amount of time that it takes can kind of be like, a lot of people don't want to do it. People will just opt to get different styles because they don't want to sit that long, and I totally understand. But me sitting for 6.5 hours for me to have my hair like it is for 6 weeks and not have to do anything to it, to me it was worth it. But again, to some people it ain't worth it. So the amount of time that it takes is definitely a con. Okay, so the next con is if you opt to get the long ones like I got, let me just go ahead and say you're going to be so fly, you're going to look good, you're going to look cute in all your outfits. People are going to give you so many compliments, but y'all, these braids, you have to be so careful. Like, you don't know how many times I have slammed my hair in the door because it's so long. I'm constantly sitting on my hair, and it's not that boom, I just sit on my hair and it's not a big deal. It's like I'm sitting on my hair, and because it's so light, I don't know I'm sitting on it. And like if I try to push up to get out of the chair or something, then I'm putting my hands on my hair and then it's pulling on the side. So you really have to be careful. A lot of times I find myself like if I'm just doing stuff around the house, like even like today, the majority of the day I had on like a bonnet. Not because I was just being lazy, but it was because it's really hard to, like every time you lean over, the braids come down. So every time you're doing something, they're so long, they could get caught in something. You can accidentally stand on them, you can accidentally sit on them. So I'll just do like a long bonnet and keep them in that for a while so that I can kind of maneuver and do what I want to do, especially when I'm doing stuff with Cam. So it's really cute, you're gonna be fly, but if you decide to get the knee length, just know that you're gonna have to be really careful, and it's just a lot of work. Again, I love my braids, but sometimes it's just a lot to maintain with the length. Okay, the next con is the price. Now, you know, I don't know if the price is different like by state, if it's more expensive in the north than it is in the south. I'm not sure. I have heard all different types of prices. I have heard anywhere from $275 to like $575, $625 for braids. So it just depends again on the person and where you're getting it done. But knotless braids do cost more than box braids, period. That's pretty much anywhere, in my opinion, that I know of. The knotless braids are just going to cost more. Even though you're using less hair, it's still going to cost more just because of the technique, and also because it's trendy. It's really high. Y'all know how it is. When something is popping on TikTok and Instagram, then the price is just gonna skyrocket anyways. Because to me, it seems like you're doing less work. But I'm not a braider, so I don't know. Don't hold me to that. If somebody that's a braider that's watching this, I'm just saying, to me, it seems this method seems easier, but this method is more expensive. So if you want to, you know, just be cute and get you some regular box braids, and you don't want to pay the price, cool, I understand. But just know, if you get knotless braids, then the price is just gonna be jacked up, and you're either gonna pay for it or you're not. Just be aware that the price is going to cost more. Okay, and so the last con that I have is, this is kind of like personal preference, but I feel like the knotless braids aren't as full as the box braids, you know, so it kind of can go either way. You know what I mean? Like when you get box braids, they look fuller. They are not look fuller, they are fuller, but depending on the length, they could be heavier. With these braids, they look more natural, but I feel like sometimes you don't get that fullness. Now, luckily for me, I opted to get the really, really long one. So if I want to do like a bun or a half up, like half in a bun, down, whatever, mine still look kind of full. But I've seen people who have the shorter ones and it doesn't look as full. And sometimes people don't like that. I feel like if you're going to pay an expensive price, then you want to go for the look that you want. So if you prefer a fuller look, then I would stick with the box braids. But just know that when you get the knotless braids, it's not going to be that full. So if you got a small little peanut head like me, then sis, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, it's not gonna look full. But you may like it. But if you don't like it, then this may not be the thing for you. So yeah, the fullness ain't gonna really be, you know, what you think it's gonna be. So just be aware of that whenever you decide to get whenever you decide to get the knotless braids. But yeah, so those are my pros and cons to knotless braids and to the knee length braids. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about my knotless braids, how I've been able to keep them up, etc., then leave them in the comment section below. I will say, unlike most people that have braids and, you know, slick their edges and stuff down all the time, I haven't done that with my braids. I think the entire time that I've had them, I've put edge control on like maybe 3 times, and that was it. I just kind of get up and go, and I still think it looks kind of fly, you know, and they're still cute. I feel like sometimes you don't really need all that extra, and that ain't doing nothing but making a whole bunch of buildup around your edges and around the braids anyways. But yeah, so y'all have any questions, leave them below. I really enjoyed making this video. I look forward to making more videos. If you are not following me on Instagram, I don't know what you're waiting on. Follow me at DEEDEE. I post in my stories every day. And what else? I think that's it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to everybody in the comment section. So until next time, talk to you guys later. Bye.